ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Thank you to everyone that's come today. Last week we had in Saki time Taru Singh brought the Saki about Baba Virijanji, and today we've got remind everyone what's your name again, bro? Harnees. God has brought as a Saki today, who was brave enough to put her hand up and volunteer herself. So she was brave to bring Saki. So I'm going to hand it over to her. She's going to share the Saki with us, and we'll discuss what we learned from it, and then we'll move on to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Jivan. And then at the end today, with the Q&As, we'll do something a little bit different. I'll tell you what we'll do at the end after her. We'll have a bit of a discussion, not a debate almost, but we'll do that at the end. So, Agnes God, what's your Saki about? Why is the Saki important to us? Yeah, so Saki is about to come up soon. So why is the Saki important? So Agnes God is going to share that with us. Go on then, put a nice loud voice so everyone can hear you. Yeah, right at the back, okay?
The Saki is the celebration of the start of Sikh New Year and harvest season. Guru Gobind Singh chose the auspicious day of the Saki for the formation of Khalsa Panth in 1699. The Saki is a festival of all over India with different names and customs. Assam celebrates Rangoli Bihu, West Bengal as Naba Bhasha, Breweries, Kerala celebrate Vishu. Bhangra and Gadra performance by men and women are People also pay tribute to the martyrs of Jalandhar, who sacrificed their lives for the country on this very day. The Golden Temple looks very beautiful at the festival, especially at taking a dip in the scar amid ceremony at the Golden Temple on the second tradition to kill people and wash the bad garments. The sake at the Golden Temple also becomes significant because it was the place where Guru Gobind Singh laid the foundation of Khalsa Panth. The sake has a tradition of thanks.
Well done, really good. So it looks like she bullet pointed the notes there and gave facts about what Vasaki is. So what have you learned from there? So one thing what's important to you about Vasaki, if you have to say one thing, what's that?
I can learn that how the sake was important and what they did.
Okay, good. Yeah, Vasaki. So both here, from the research you did, it seemed like it's got the culture side, culture, Punjabi culture side to it as well, and then the dharmic side to it as well, what you were talking about, that the whole Vaisakhi is a celebration of harvesting. That's the time when the crops arrive and they're going to sell the crops. And the reason why they celebrate it is because all year round, for the past couple of months, past 6 months, they actually look after the crops. And after, so people know that from India, or the parents or the grandparents are from India, whoever's done farming, if you've ever had a chance to do it, you'll realize how hard it is. And when the time comes to harvesting, it's like make or break, isn't it? Or not, it can just wreck everything, and it can be really bad. So then that's why they celebrate it when they're able to sell the crops. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj used that occasion where everyone gets together as an excuse and use that as part of to make the Panj Pyare, the Khalsa Panth, the Sadhana Kiti Sigi. Before that, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, it's quite often when we say Vaisakhi, we remember Guru Gobind Singh Ji and the Panj Pyare, right? But where was it celebrated before that? It was celebrated all the way up to from where the Sikh Panth used to celebrate together, where they got together, Katha, Kirtan, Vichar Karni, was Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj's time. Tiji Paatshah Maharaj to challe aunda hai jehda getting together. Because us wele beinti ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ to Guru Amar Das Ji, Tiji Paatshah at Goindwal. So historically, it's at Goindwal where it used to be celebrated. And then slowly it's changed to, actually now people might think it's celebrated at Anandpur Sahib. People go to Anandpur Sahib, but where it's celebrated even bigger than that is that Damodar Sahib, because that was one of the tasks that give Vaisakhi to us, because Anandpur Sahib has Hola Mahalla, which is also coming up. Anandpur Sahib has Hola Mahalla, Amritsar has Diwali, and then they said Vaisakhi, Damodar Sahib can have it, and that's where Sangat used to go. A lot of Sangat go there to this day, you know. The main Sakhi is when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj ne sees mange, right? Asked for the 5 heads. One thing we've learned over the past however many years, Chamkaur ki jang hui, Battle of Chamkaur, the Panj Pyare were mentioned in there. The Panj Pyare, so recently, up until just recently, I thought कि पांच प्यारे जिहड़े जो मारे ने साजे उसी दिन उत्थे सीगे by chance and they got up. That's what we've always grown up with, है ना? कि that's the story, that's the fact that we know it. That कि मारे ने जो सिर मंगया उस वेले भाई दया सिंह जी खड़े हुए and it was by chance कि कुदरती उत्थे सीगे. But no, that's not the case. Where by Daya Singh ji had come to Maharaj at the age of 14. And they had given their head, it was at 32 I think it was then they gave their head. So all the Panj Pyare, they were with Maharaj from the beginning, you know, like that sense, you know? But yeah, so well done to him, he's got to for sharing facts about the Sakhi. Who would like to bring a Sakhi next week? Yeah, shall we give it to Kapaji? Interested? You want to bring one or shall we give it to Kapaji? Yeah? He wants to bring it as well? He put his hand as well? Yeah? What shall we give him? Yeah? Alright, you want to bring Saki next week, yeah? Alright, you bring one next week for us then, okay? Thank you so much for that. Thank you Ms. Ghosh for that as well. We'll continue that next week then. Let's move on to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's Jivan and see where Maharaj is going to, or what we can learn from today and where Maharaj is going to take us today. So, for the past couple of weeks, I was wondering why this part of the Itihas, the Harnakas, Bhagat Prahlad Ji, why it's taken up so many weeks? It's been going on for a good couple of weeks, so it must be like a really important part of our Itihas, of not our Itihas directly, but that Itihas has always been used. Bhagat Prahlad Ji's example has always been used throughout Gurbani when Guru Sahib Ji talk about how Vaheguru will protect their will protect their Bhagat. Bhagat Prahlad Ji's name always comes up. Maybe that's why they've gone into it in so much detail. But quick recap from last week. So पिछले हफ्ते की होया सीगा किथे ਅਸੀਂ फिनिश ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ कथा महाराज ਦੀ भगत प्रहलाद जी भाई बाला जी ने पूछा भगत प्रहलाद जी कोलों they asked भगत प्रहलाद जी ki tell us your life story, tell us your katha, and then Bhagat Prahlad ji being telling Bhai Bala ji, Bhai Mardana ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Guru Sahib ne to pehla hi bataya, but because they're famous, they said they're telling the whole story to Bhai Bala ji. And then we learnt that Harnakas had got their father was so powerful and wanted to kill his son, tried loads of ways, but every time Maharaj protected them, Vaheguru protected them. We got to a point where constantly Bhagat Prahlad Ji are telling their father ki aha tusi jeevan chhaddo, forget this way of living, tusi simran karo, sangat karo. That's how you get sukh in life, that's how you get happy in life, if you do simran and do sangat of Mahapurukhs and serve the sadhus. So the child is teaching the father. And from this I was thinking that it can happen in our lives as well, right? You might know someone where sometimes the child comes into Sikhi and their parents and their Sikhi chaunde. Sometimes they'll want to keep their case, the kids will start keeping the case. I've known loads of examples like that. I can think off the top of my head about 3 or 4 families where the kids came into Sikhi and the parents then kept their case and took Amrit because of their kids. And they're known to be wise. पर कई ऐसा भी होंगे पर उन्हें कर्म बहुत माड़े है. Their karma really bad, where the child wants to come into Sikhi, but the parents won't let them come into Sikhi, won't let them follow the path because of whatever reason they come out with, which obviously I don't agree with, but they come out with all sorts of reasons saying that yeda vyaah nahi hona, yeda sama nahi hega, he's a child, yeah, all this kind of stuff, but like I mentioned last week, right, when you're a child, you're able to, you know, I was watching, listening to this podcast, and the podcast, this motivational talker or whatnot was talking about how kids or teenagers, or when you get to about 17, 18, you're always told that this is a time for you lot to enjoy your lives to the fullest. You've not got any responsibilities, you don't have to worry about anything. But he was saying that that's totally wrong when we're telling kids that. That's the time when you need to work your hardest because you can. Yeah, you can function on little sleep. You don't need as much sleep then. You can in that same way, if parents push their children to do Simran, to do Path, to get a Amrita because they can, then like I said last week, they'll be set for life then if they have that in them. Simran karna hai, bhakti karni. So like I said, that it can go the other way around as well, where parents don't let their kids come into Sikhi as well. I remember hearing the stories. Sikhi camp, we used to do Sikhi camps when we were younger, on a yearly basis. On whenever the kids had holidays, Sikhi camp. There was one kid that used to come every Sikhi camp. Okay, so he wanted to keep his case, and then he came to us crying on one of the camps. He goes, I want to keep my case. We said, what's the matter? Is someone picking on you? But at school, we thought someone's picking on him at school or something. He goes, my parents, my mum don't let me keep my kids. And then me with Sevadars got together and we said, what can we do? What should we say? Tell the mother, and then he was crying so much. We go, what happened? He goes, I was keeping my gaze. My gaze got long till about here, and my mum would come into the room at night and cut my gaze because she just was adamant. So karma, it's just bad karma that you're not letting your child come into this. Not on the same scale, but it just reminded me of that a little bit. His Bhakt Prahlad ji aapne Pitaji nu keh rahe ki Pitaji tu simran karo, and he's getting angry. He's saying that how dare you speak to me like that? I'm more powerful than anyone. He had a lot of hankar, and that's what it comes down to. That's why the parents that don't let their kids come into Sikhi is because their hankar stopping them. Their hankar saying that if he comes in Sikhi, that means he's more Siana than I am, and I can't let that happen. But the wise parents do let it happen. So just something to contemplate on and think about that if anyone knows anyone like that in their family members anywhere, then you can help them out in that way, Hannah. But anyway, it comes to a point where Harnak is marna chaunda. He's angry. He says, I'm going to take your head off. Main tenu maar dena itthe. And then he Bhakt Prahlad ji kehte ki Vaheguru sare paase hai. Then he goes, if your Vaheguru is everywhere, is even this in this pillar, jo thamma ede vich bhi hai. And then jodo marya Harnak, so Vaheguru took on this form as Harnak, Narsingh. Narsingh was half human, half lion, came out, very scary. Harnak saw this and he's getting weak for the first time, he's getting scared, or dar gaya. And the way it was described in so much detail, ਇਹ recap ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਵੀ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸੀਗਾ, it was like a cave, ਗੁਫਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਉਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਅੱਡਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਭਿਆਨਕ ਸੀਗਾ scene. He's got thick hair on his chest and neck, and his chest is massive. You can just imagine how big he must have been. Long, big arms, and his nails are sharp and huge, and they can't be cut. The dance, the bad people that were there, they saw this and Obi Harnakas tried to hit Narsingh with a club. He came forward to hit Narsingh, and then when he tried to hit Narsingh, Narsingh grabbed Harnakas, and then he let him go again. And then Harnakas got more hankar, but he was playing with him. Narsingh was not khed reha siga. Ek tamasha siga. This was like a natak that Vaheguru was showing to the world. Vaheguru is in control of everything. Ultimately, Vaheguru is in control of. If Maharaj wants to grab him, he can grab him. If Maharaj wants to let go, Maharaj can let go as well. The Devta were watching this play take place. Harnakas grabbed a shield and sword and then tried to attack again. Narsingh roared really loud. Harnakas tried to run, but Narsingh grabbed him again and then this time didn't let him go. He went into the doorway of the palace, placed him on his lap, and then within 1 second he ended his life by ripping his chest and stomach open and taking out his insides and destroyed him like that. This person, this Harnakas, this Dan that was so powerful, more than anyone else, it just goes to show that Vaheguru can destroy anything and anyone when they want to. We left it there. Let's continue and see where it's going to take us today. Let's do a study of Guru Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Because of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, we're sitting here every week, getting to do this Sangat in this way. Can't thank Maharaj enough because of I know that people that lives have been changed because of this Katha that we've been doing. Kavi Santokh Singh ji have written time and time again, bar Kavi Santokh Singh ne likhya ki jina ne bhi Katha is sun li Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj ji, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੁਕਤੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਊਗੀ. They'll get mukti, they'll get liberated if you listen to this Katha of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So let's do Ustad, let's praise Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj through Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj's words, and we'll continue on the Katha. ज्ञान ध्यान किछ कर्म न जाना, सार न जाना तेरी, सब ते वड्डा सतगुर नानक, जिन कल राखी मेरी. सब ते वड्डा सतगुर नानक, जिन कल राखी मेरी. So Harnak is this being who used to be bad to Bhagats. He used to be horrible to Bhagats. Bhagatan nu jehde dukhi karda siga Harnak, onu fir marta Narsingh ne. He gets killed. And remember, we remember this every day. Je Gursikh ne, we remember it in Rehra Sahib every day. And again, time mein keh rahe hain ki ye prasang jehda Bhagat Prahlad jehda inna lamba kai hafte, I don't even know how many weeks has it been. How many weeks has it been? It's been 5 weeks, है ना? Going over Bhagat Prahlad Sakhi. So we remember in Rehra Sahib, Har Jog Jog Bhagat Upaya. So when we start Rehra Sahib in the evening, the Rehra Sahib da sama hunda ya sham nu. We Har Jog Jog Bhagat Upaya. So Guru Sahib ji is saying that in every jog, Pej Rakhda Aya Ram Raje. So Vaheguru has protected his Bhagats in every jog. Whatever age it's been, whether it's been Satyug, the age of truth, whether it's been Kaljug, the age of darkness, Maharaj Vaheguru has always protected his Bhagats. Pej Rakhda Aya Ram Raje. And then here they remember Harnakas Dusht Har Marya. So he was a Dusht. Harnakas Dusht Har Marya Prahlad Taraya. We remember them every day. So for that reason why this prasang is so important and so long and going into so much detail. All the other dance that were there, Genevi dance of Sios Vele, Harnak's servants, Jerigo and Offersi Genevisi, or Darke Pajagioto. Initially they ran away, they first ran away. Then they came back with Shastra, they came back to fight Narsingh. Or Larna Age Murke Narsingh na Lard. But Narsingh, one by one, with his nails, he was destroying all of them. He was just ripping them apart, ripping all the dance apart. Never have I personally, people here might have sung, members of the Sangat might have heard it in this much detail. But मैं आज तक कदे नहीं है सुनी कि जिरा नारसिंह ने आके जो हरनाक ने मारा. That's all I know. Bhagat Prahlad ने अरदास की थी, and then नारसिंह दे रूप में जाके हरनाक ने मारता. That's all I know. इन्ना ही मैंने पता सीगा ये दे बारे. But जिन्नी detail which ਅਸੀਂ गए हैं, how much detail we've been through, it's been unreal. So all of the जिन्नी भी dancy, उस मुड़ के वापस आके they wanted to fight Narsingh, so they came back and tried to fight him, but Narsingh was destroying them. ऐदा ही तबाह कर देना सीगा वो. He was so angry. He was in a lot of krodh himself. So it was like he couldn't be stopped at this point. After he destroyed Harnakas, he wanted to destroy everything. After Narsingh killed everyone, there all the dance were killed. He wasn't stopping. Or Rokadani siga Narsingh jehda siga. He wasn't stopping. All the Devi Devte, jinne bhi sige, oh kathe hoke, oh ek meeting karte hai, they get together and they will say that we need to stop him now because he's destroying everything. They all come to see Narsingh. They do a benti to Narsingh, and the scene is scary. No one dares to even go up to Narsingh in Napihanaka. They go up, even the Devi Devta are scared of Narsingh right now. And they do Ustat of Narsingh. Oh, Vaheguru da Rupa ek. This is one of Vaheguru's Roop. And they do Ustat of Vaheguru. And they say ki Maharaj, leave this form now. Leave it. But they weren't listening. And it's for a reason why they weren't listening. Because I was listening to the Katha, and I was thinking in my mind, like, we have these questions in our mind, right? So if Pampaji was asking last week as well, that why did Harnakas get granted all this power in the first place? These questions come in your mind. In that same way, I'm just thinking, ki Narsingh hone rokada karte nahi hai, why isn't he stopping? है ना? Ki je Vaheguru da Rupa, but it's for a reason, and we're going to find out in a little short while. Ki kate. So they weren't listening to Devi Devte either. So Bhagat Prahlad ji then said, so Bhagat Prahlad ji by Balaji nu keh rahe ne ki Bhagat Prahlad ji kehne then said the Devi Devte came to me, mere kol aaye Devi Devte jinne bhi si, and they came and asked me to speak to Narsingh. They said, go and you stop Narsingh, you calm him down, tusi onu shant karao, they might listen to you. Because I listened to the Devi Devte's benti sun ke, and then main Narsingh kol chal gaya. And then what I did was when I went to Narsingh, first thing I did was I fell to the floor and I grabbed their charn. Main Narsingh de charn fad le, I grabbed his charn and I did dandot to them. Main dandot kiti Narsingh nu. Ye look tarika hai mangan da, if you want to ask for something, whether like these little things that you take out of this katha and you can apply it into your lives. If you're ever in a situation, Guru Sahib ji ko kuch mangna, if you want to ask Guru Sahib ji for anything, These are the tariqe. Go there, fall in Maharaj Charan, do ustat of Guru Sahib Ji, and then Maharaj will listen to you. Don't ever think this though, ki Maharaj bukhiya, ki they want to get praised or anything like that. No. Maharaj doesn't want to get praised. Maharaj doesn't care if you praise them or not. Maharaj ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਫਰਕ ਪੈਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਸਤਤ ਕਰੋ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਗੁਣ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸਤਤ ਕਰੋ because when you do ਉਸਤਤ of someone, I've said this before, when you start praising someone, you automatically start becoming nima. ਨਿਮਰਤਾ automatically ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਉਸਤਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰੋ automatically that happens. So he goes, I did dandaut to them. Dandaut is when you stretch out and danda mungu, like straight, like a danda, like a stick. Dandaut, they stretched out in front of Narsingh and did matha take to Narsingh. When Narsingh saw this, straight away he went calm, shant ho gaya, and then he bent down and slowly grabbed me from my arm and picked me up. And then he put his hand on my head, and then he stroked my matha with love. He stroked my matha and he gave me blessings. Then he calmed down and he had a lot of love in him. Ki ek bahut zyada prem ode vich aa gaya siga. And this is what Bhagats do. This is why Narsingh us vele rukya nahi, because hum duniya nu dikhauna chaਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ the gun, the qualities of a Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu te gun ki hunde ਆ. You look at this, that he's going, someone's so angry and so much karod. Only a Mahaprabhu can stop a person like that. A small example I can think of is ਜਿਹਨੇ ਵੀ book ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਆ ਸੇ ਕਨਈਆ, ਸੋ ਉਹ book ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਸੰਤ ਬਾਬਾ ਹਰਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜੇ ਵਾਲੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਸੇ ਕਨਈਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੇਵਕਾਂ ਨੇ, and there was all their stories in there. ਉੱਥੇ ਨੇ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜਾ, whereas in ਹੁਸ਼ਿਆਰਪੁਰ, ਨੇ ਹੁਸ਼ਿਆਰਪੁਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਆ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜਾ, ਉੱਥੇ there was a famous drunk person that everyone, nasha and atte, he would always be telling, he would be always drunk, nasha vich hamesha turda firda hunda siga uthe, even outside near the gurdwara. Everyone used to run away from him because ਉਹ ਤੋਂ smell ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ. He was in such a bad state. No one used to go near him. ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ, he was outside. ਬਾਬਾ ਹਰਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਰਾਮਪੁਰ ਖੇੜੇ ਵਾਲੇ, they were walking, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਰੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖ ਲਿਆ. And ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਣ ਹੁੰਦਾ, this is their quality, right? ਉਹ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਚਲ ਗਏ and they said ਪਿਆਰਿਆ ਇਹ ਨਸ਼ਾ ਛੱਡ, ਤੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਛੱਡ ਦੇ, ਇਹ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਿਹਤ ਲਈ ਚੰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਹਨਾ. ਬੜੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰਿਆ, and ਉਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ the next day they stopped. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ stop ਕਰਤਾ, they didn't carry on, and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਹੀ ਆਪਦਾ ਬਦਲਤਾ. They changed their ਜੀਵਨ all around and they became one of the main sevaks at Rampur Kheda, and they started doing seva every day instead. Only a Mahaprabhu can do that. Mahaprabhu ne ek bari kiya unnu ki nasha chhad de tu, and then he chhadta. Otherwise, how many more people would have said that to him? But this is no one's going up to him. These are the qualities of a Mahaprabhu. So Bhagat Prahlad in the same way calmed Narsingh down. A tamasha dikha rahe ne Maharaj sanu. Vaheguru is showing us the tamasha. He calmed down and they had a lot of love within them. And then he goes, Bhagat Prahlad ji, I praised them. And then I said that no one can understand you, Maharaj. Sanu, no one can understand the way you work. And that's true, isn't it? That's so true. When jad bhi sade jeevan vich kuch hunda ya, not even in our jeevan, in anyone else's, when you hear of stories ki aida ithe ho gaya, aida koi nuksan kis da ho gaya, ja something bad's happened or something good's happened, or you might think, why is this bad person, how is this person good happening to this bad person? No one can understand how Maharaj works. ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਦੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਪੱਗਤੀ ਉੱਤੇ, they've dedicated their whole lives to trying to understand how Maharaj is, but no one can. ਇਹ ਅਕਥ ਕਥਾਇਆ. Maharaj, Guru Sahib tell us, akath means that you can't do katha on Vaheguru because they're beyond that. Bhagat Prahlad ji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ to Narsingh, they say, you see your Bhagat in trouble and you save them. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਬਚਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ Bhagat is in trouble. ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ. ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ? ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ got put in chains and they got thrown into the river, into the water. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Bhagat Kabir ji. Bhagat Kabir ji ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਹਨਾ? Bhagat Kabir ji got thrown into the river, and then Vaheguru came and saved Bhagat Kabir ji. Their chains opened automatically. Their chains ਟੁੱਟ ਗਏ ਸੀ and they came floating out of the water again. But they say, you see your Bhagat, jad bhi thoda Bhagat koi takleef vich ya, mushkil vich ya, tusi aake bacha leno, you come and save them. After praising them, they said, हे प्रहलाद भगत, so Narsingh बोलदा है, Narsingh कहंदे हे प्रहलाद भगत, you are पूरा, तू पूरा है, you're perfect. Ask for whatever you want to ask for. जो कुछ भी तू मांगना है मांग ला. I said, so Bhagat Prahlad ji कहंदे that I've got nothing left to ask. There's nothing left for me to ask. I've got everything. मेरे को सारा कुछ है. I do your bhakti. I've got all my senses in control. So what else do I need? Look at that. When I was listening to the Katha, I thought that I don't know if anyone can ever hear say that they've ever asked that from Guru Sahib Ji. He helped me get my senses in control. What a thing to ask for, isn't it? That's something mad to ask for. कि जेरे मेरे जिन्हें भी मेरे all my senses, देखने की शक्ति, touch, smell, speaking, all these senses that we have, get them in control, because it's Guru Sahib Ji have told us, isn't it? It's from our senses that we get vishivakar, where we get bad thoughts, where we get bad desires. It's from our senses. कि if we see something bad, कि जैसे कुछ गलत देख लिए, फिर जी करता है कि ये गलत देखी चलिए फिर. If we listen to something bad, listen to bad music, bad words, we feel like listening to that. If you eat something bad, because it tastes good, you'll start. It's all these senses are what cause your destruction. Why Mahaprabhu live a simple life in that way is self-explanatory. But Bhagat Prahlad ji कहते I've got all my senses in control. There's one thing to take from here definitely. ये अरदास करिए महाराज कि महाराज help me get all my senses in control. Then Narsingh said कि Narsingh कहते understand one thing. I can grant you anything. मैं तेरे कुछ भी दे सकता हूँ प्रहलाद भगत. तू कुछ भी तू मांग. Please ask me for something. This will be my seva to you. Look at that, yeah, that a bhagat jehda hunda hai na ki Vaheguru can never say no to a bhagat, but if a bhagat want to say no to Vaheguru, they have that permission, yeah. Inne pyare hunde a bhagat Maharaj Vaheguru. So they saying that ki tusi kuch mango mere to, then I can do your seva. And then Bhagat Prahlad ji कहते I then folded my hands and said that any other desires that I have within me, any bad desires that even come near me, I want to destroy them all. I don't want any desires to ever come near me. Mara, destroy them all for me, please. And I just want to do your bhakti. मैं तो सिर्फ थोड़ी bhakti होते मैं ध्यान देना चाहूँगा और मैंने कुछ नहीं चाहिए. And then they blessed me with it all. They blessed me with everything, and they also made me the Raja of all the dance. They made me the Raja of everyone. And he goes, I also asked that I know my father was a puppy. Look at this again, a quality of a Mahaprabhu. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਹਾਪੁਰਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਗੁਣ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਮਹਾਪੁਰਖ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਆਮ ਬੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ. No normal person can do this. He goes that I know my father, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਪਾਪੀ ਸੀ. They were so bad. They did a lot ਭਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ. I know my father was bad, but bless him with mukti. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੁਕਤੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਖਸ਼ੋ. Bless them with mukti. Narsingh then said that you are my sevak, and this is the importance of a bhagata of a Mahaprabhu. They said that you are my sevak, and you've done so much bhakti to me, bhakti bahut kiti hai meri. For me, it's not a big thing to give mukti to that person who's your father, especially if he's your father, no matter what type of person he is. Forget just your father, Bhagat Prahlad ji, your 21 generations will get mukti. Thode ek hi kol assi taar dange. Bhagat Prahlad ji thode ek pita ji ta vakri gall hai, par ek hi kol taar dange, un sare nu mukti assi bakhsh dange purely because they're related to you. This is why it's important. Mahaprabhus are important in our lives to read about Mahaprabhu. And they go all because of your bhakti. And then Bhagat Prahlad ji कहते he did so much kirpa on me. After this, after doing this kirpa on me, then they vanished or alope ho gaye. Then they became alope. This was my katha Pai Balaji. वो कहते Pai Balaji ने ये मेरी कथा सीगी. Pai Balaji ने matha टेक to Bhagat Prahlad ji. Pai Balaji ने matha टेकिया Bhagat Prahlad ji ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ. And now we're coming back to Dhamma Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Guru Sahib Ji and Bhagat Prahlad Ji us vele then did vichar with each other for a little while. Maharaj uthe rahe. They stayed a little longer with Bhagat Prahlad Ji. They did more vichara with them. And then they showed so much love to one another. After this, Guru Sahib Ji, Pai Mardana Ji and Pai Bala Ji, they left this place and then they continued on their journey. ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਦਾਸੀ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਚੱਲ ਪਏ. ਕਵੀ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਵੀ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਰਾਈਟ ਕਿ ਬਿਫੋਰ ਸਟਾਰਟਿੰਗ ਦ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਕਿ ਅਗਲਾ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਚਰਨ ਔਰ ਲਾਈਕ ਸ਼ੀਲਡ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਚਰਨ ਉਹ ਢਾਲ ਮੰਗੂ ਆ they protect you. ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਸਰਾ ਆ, ਸਾਡੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰੂਗਾ. It'll protect us always. When you put a shield in front of you, then no arrow can hit you. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਢਾਲ ਅੱਗੇ ਕਰ ਦੋ ਕੋਈ ਤੀਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਵੱਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ. ਐਂਡ ਤੀਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਨੇ? the ਤੀਰ, the arrows or the ਪੰਜ ਚੋਰ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜ ਚੋਰ ਨੇ, ਕਾਮ ਕਰੋ, ਲੋਭ, ਮੋਹ, ਹੰਕਾਰ. If you don't want to get affected by them, grab onto Maharaj Charan. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅਸਰ ਹੋਵੇ ਪੰਜ ਚੋਰ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਮ ਕਰੋ, ਲੋਭ, ਮੋਹ, ਹੰਕਾਰ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੋਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਭਗਤੀ ਨੂੰ ਚੋਰੀ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ, they steal your bhakti and they take it away from you and they want to take you off the path. If you don't want them to affect you, then grab onto Guru Sahib's charan and ask for that protection from Maharaj. And then they go, hey Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, Bhai Balaji kende hun. Bhai Balaji kende to Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, our second Guru, right? Because they're telling Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, say, hey Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, listen to what's going to happen next. Age ki hoga, after Guru Sahib Ji left this place, Bhai Mardana Ji asked Guru Sahib Ji ki Maharaj Ji, you know like Harnakas ਇੱਥੇ ਹਰਨਾਕਸ ਹੋਇਆ, ਹਰਨਾਕਸ ਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਭਗਤ ਪ੍ਰਹਲਾਦ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਥਾ ਸੁਣਾਈ ਸਾਨੂੰ. And all the other Devi Devte ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਇੱਥੇ, that place is near Kashmir. Can you tell us about any others that have come to this place, or how did this place come about? How did this place even come to exist? Maharaj ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ. Guru Sahib Ji then said it's all written in the Purana ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਆ. It's written in this old Hindu Granth. And Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I will tell you. Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ once upon a time ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ, the rishi called Kashyap Rishi, and this is like in Satyug, even like in Satyug or Treta Yug, so many thousands of years ago. Once upon a time there was a rishi ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਸੀ Kashyap Rishi, and he did a jag. Jag is where you stay up all night doing part, where you stay up all night doing puja. ਉਹ jag ਕਰਕੇ ਹਟਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ. He was happy with it. Now this Kashyap Rishi had 4 wives. From one of his wives, Devte were born, and from one of the other wives, the Dants were born. So Maharaj is explaining to us how the angels and demons, the Devi Devte, the Dants came about, how they came to exist. They go so one of the wives could not have children. ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, and she went up to her husband Kashyap Rishi. And guys, I stopped it here. ਇੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ stop ਕਰਨੀ ਪਈ ਇਹ ਕਥਾ, because the next part of it, मैं 4 बारी सुनी हुई. I think I listened to it 4 times to try and get my head around it, and it was proved to be a little bit difficult. 4 बारी सुन के बहुत औखी मैनू लग रही सी कथा समझनी. Yeah, because it's all that thingy है ना. It's a bit hard to understand with the words that Gyani Kirpal Singh you're using on. So I've understood most of it, but I thought I'll leave it here because it was taking up too much, quite a lot of time, and we were getting late to come here. So ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹਦੀ. ਇਹ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਜਾਰੀ will continue from where we left it. Maharaj is going to explain to us how it all came about. And it is important for us to learn this. It's important for us to understand this. ਜੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੱਲੀ ਸਮਝਣ ਲਈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ in ਦਸਮ ਬਾਣੀ, ਦਸਮ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ Devi Devtiyan, all this, they've taken loads of examples out of they've used examples to make us understand certain things. So these kind of things are important to understand, and don't think we're like praising them in any way, we're following them, but it's important that you learn about the Devi Devte, ki kime hoya, kime nahi hoya. They're all intertwined with each other, the sadhams do. So we'll leave that there, and we'll continue that next week. We'll move on to Q&As, any question answers if anyone's got any questions. And then I just want to kind of put a question to everyone else quickly. But has anyone got any questions to do with Vaisakhi, Guru Nanak Dev Maharaj Diva, or anything to do with Sikhi in general? Has anyone got any questions that they want to ask?
Basically, when you said like the Devi Devte and the dance had separate mothers but the same father. You mean like they're brothers?
Yeah, there will be stepbrothers, isn't it? Yeah, there will be stepbrothers. the dance, the dance, yeah. Handy. Anyone got any other questions? Atlas? Has anyone got questions? No?
Can I ask something?
Angie?
I think I may be wrong. I've heard this thing. You know, when you stop here, I forgot the name, the Rishi you just said, he gave a fal, a fruit, to go and give it to the wife, and she gave it to the cow.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Am I
Something,
right?
yeah. Something along the lines.
Yeah, I forgot it by accident, but I know this is the thing. And then later on, you know, the 4 wives, I know the name of them, but I forget now.
Okay.
But when you're going to say, it I may be wrong.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's all it is. Where have you heard this?
Africa. I was born in Uganda.
Okay, in Africa, and where?
Hinduism.
In Katha, like.
Yeah, it is in the Katha. Same what you are saying.
Which Granth?
Bhagavata.
Is it written in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bhagavata, Ramayana, everywhere is written. But I may be wrong. Don't get me. The pearl what the Rishi gave to the wife, but by mistake or it is in the deeper story. But she gave it to left it, and the cow ate it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I heard a little bit of it, and we'll go through it next week.
My childhood,
Yeah, we'll go through it. Has anyone got any other questions at all? So, okay, cool. So for the sake of this next part, I'm going to ask her to bring you the live YouTube. So for any Sangat at home, we're going to cut you off here, so we can do Q&As a little bit in deeper, controversial.